Hey everyone, Nupkaso here. We are back with another video. Today we have updates on the deals which have currently on the 2D platforming and beat 'em up, and there is one free game on the Epic Store and the one demo which kind of gone unnoticed from everyone. So without wasting any time, let's get to the video. A free game on the Epic Store is the Sifu. Sifu is absolutely free on this Epic Store for today, 24 hours for next 9:30 p.m. in this Indian Standard Time. So there will be a different for the other country zones, but it is free for 24 hours for sure. So go claim it. That will be in your library forever. So it's a Sifu is a realistic third-person brawler with the tight kung fu combat mechanics and cinematic martial arts action, embarking you on a path for revenge. You ponder the questions on your path for revenge, hunting down your family's assassin, one against all. You have no allies, countless enemies, and mysterious amulet to bring you back to life every time you die. Yet be warned, your secret weapons come with a hefty price to pay, aging and its consequences. So it's a totally free. That's a great game and definitely a difficult one if you wanted to play with the kung fu. So much combos and so much ways to tackle in this game, and pretty straightforward revenge battles in the kung fu style. So that's a pretty great game. So go, definitely you need to add this on library. Don't miss out, please. The next demo is available, which have been undergone by everyone's radar, which is the Acts of Blood. So Acts of Blood is an action beat-em up third-person combat game which is focuses on fast-paced brutal hand-to-hand combat set in a dystopian city of Bundang, which is in Indonesia. So it's a kind of a game which will make you feel like a Sifu. So highly inspired from that. That beat-em up is totally incredible game. So I will suggest that it's a demo. It's absolutely free. So you can try the demo and the game looks pretty sick. So just worth to check it out. Moving to our main segment is basically the 2D platformer beat 'em up games and the Souls-like as well. So the first game is the Cuphead. So the Cuphead is 30% off, $3.95, almost like $4 to $5. So it's a classic run-gun action game heavily focused on boss battle, inspired by cartoons, which is 1930s. The visual and audio painstakingly created with the same technique of the era, traditionally hand-drawn seal animations, watercolor background, and original jazz. So that's a great game, 30% off, $4 to $5. It's worth to check it out. Next game is the Hollow Knight, which is Metroidvania Souls-like platformer typical game, which is 50% off, $345, almost like $4 to $5. So forge your own path in Hollow Knight, an epic action adventure through a vast ruined kingdoms of insects and horses. Explore twisted caverns, battle tinted creatures, and befriend bizarre bugs, all in a classic hand-drawn 2D style. So I can say this is the incredible game, which is 3,444. More than that, it's overwhelmingly positive reviews. 50% off, $345, almost like $4 to $5. So I will highly suggest this is a great game, I can say. Moving to the next game is the Souls-like game, which is Blasphemous 1 and Blasphemous 2. So it comes on a bundle, 67% off, $1,432, almost like $15 to $16, while individually Blasphemous 1 is $399, almost 80% off, $4 to $5. Blasphemous 2 is $1,199, almost like $12 to $13. So the both games based on this 2D platformer action genre game and Souls-like. So Blasphemous 1 is a brutal action platformer with skilled hack-on-slash combat set in a nightmare world of Custodia. Explore, upgrade your abilities, and perform savage executions on the horde of enemies that stands between you and your quest to break eternal damnations. And the Blasphemous 2 joins him once again in an endless struggle against the miracle. Dive into the perilous new world filled with the mysterious and secrets to discover, and tear your way through the monstrous foes that stand between you and your quest to end the cycle once and for all. So that's a great game, I can say, from the Souls-like genre, which was introduced in 2D platformer. The first game was the Blasphemous. So that's a great game, I can say. So it's in a bundle, 67% off, $1,432, and you can also go for the individual as well. So that's on your choice. The next game is the Moonscars. This is also the action Souls-like Metroidvania pixelated graphics in 2D platformer, 50% off, $369, almost like $4 to $5. So it supports the limits of your combat skill, master your new abilities to progress through the unforgivable non-linear 2D world. Face off against relentless darkness that seeks to destroy you. In Moonscars, every death is a lesson learned, and you overcome each challenges new truths will be revealed. So that's a great game. 50% off, $369, $4 to $5. That's a great game. Moving to the next game is the Last Faith. It's also been inspired from the same genre of the 2D Souls-like. 40% off, $11.99, almost like $12 to $13. So it's a dark gothic fusion of Metroidvania Souls-like. Blasphemous thrives on a merciless and precise combat with a huge range of weapons, firearms, and custom executions at your disposal. Let nothing stand in your way. So this is a 40% off, $11.99, almost like $12 to $13. So that's a great deal. Moving to the next game is 2D action beat 'em up. 60% off, 440, Streets of Rage 4. So it's a fantastic game, I can say, for the fighting styles games. Among the best of the beat 'em up series and ever created, jamming in 90s beats and over top with the street fighting, the iconic series Street of Rage comes back with a masterful tribute and revitalizations of the classic actions fans adore. So 60% off, 440. I would say this is the best 2D beat 'em up game. So that's a great deal. Next game is Frontier's Hunter Erza Wheel of Fortune, which is 45% off, $605, almost like $8. So this is an anime style Metroidvania game with an RPG progression systems, numerous weapons for switching, and emphasis on equipment building. It offers 3 switchable characters, a smooth gameplay, impactful combat feedback, and anime style story senses. So that's a great deal. 45% off, $605. So if you like the anime style 2D platformer and action RPG game, so that's a great for you. Moving to the next game is the F.I.S.T. Forged in a Shadow's Torch, which is 65% off, $444, almost like $6. So it's a demo, is free, and also been given away by this Epic Store as well. So I've included, which is Metroidvania action featuring exploring an intense combat and challenging platform. So this game is basically you have a mechanic legion invaded and colonized the Torch City, which was originally inhabited by animals. Raytown, a former soldier in the Resistance War, have been living in a seclusion since then. After his friend forcibly arrested, Raytown acclaims his mechanical fist and steps to his journey fighting back. So this is 65% off, $454, almost like $6. So that's a great deal. The next game is coming out from the beat 'em up 2D side-scroller game, which is Mayhem Brawler. So 70% off, $264, almost like $3. So it's an urban fantasy themed beat 'em up, brings back to 90s arcade vibe to present days with comic book style art, kick-ass soundtracks. It offers unique expressions that you can tackle solo or as co-op friends, with the defining next step in the story with your choices. So it's a 70% off, $264. That's a great beat 'em up game. It's worth to check it out. Moving to the next game is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Arcade Wrath of Mutants, which is 50% off, $650, almost like $8. So it was released on 23rd April 2024, which is based on the re-experience of the 2017 arcade classic with 3 additional stages with 6 additional bosses. Battle takes control of the Leonardo, Michelangelo, and Donatello or Raphael in this classic beat 'em up inspired by the cult favorite Turtle in Time plays. Play with your friends, up to 4 co-op players. So that's a great 2D, and also there is a co-op, so it will be the great our favorite Ninja Turtle games. So moving to the next game is coming up from this Awaken Astral Blade, which is 50% off, $748, almost like $9. Sonic's exploration atmospheric fantasy single player based on the 2D platformer. So wave on your own story in the dark fairy tale. In the mysterious ancient ruins, you will adventure with the Tanya to reveal their origins and fate. Is there any chance of survival in the darkest and desperate place? So this is the 50% off, $748, almost like $9. So that's a great deal. The next game is Dead Cells. It got a lot of patches and a lot of updates and DLCs. So the base game is 50% off, $314, almost like $4, which is action roguelike pixelated 2D platformer game and a roguelike Metroidvania inspired by action platformer. You explore the sprawling, ever-changing castle, assuming you are able to fight your way past in the key-person 2D Souls-like combat. No checkpoints, kill, learn, and repeat. So there is no checkpoint. You die, you start from wherever. So if you get upgrades and abilities along their paths, so this will the one chances that you can survive. That's all on your upgrade, and it is a very less percentage of drop rate. So 50% off, $314, almost like $4. So that's a great deal, and it's also having the 138,000 of positive reviews. So that's a nice one. The next game is coming up from the Nine Souls. Nine Souls is 30% off 910. So it's a Metroidvania Souls-like action difficult 2D game, which is hand-drawn 2D platformer featuring Sekiro-inspired reflections, focused combat. Embark on a journey of Eastern fantasy, explore the land once home to an ancient alien race, and follow a vengeance hero quest to slay the Nine Souls, formidable ruler of the Forsaken Realm. So it's 30% off 910. That's a great 2D Souls-like game. Moving to the next game is also coming up from the 2D platformer Metroidvania exploration action game, which is Prince of Persia: The Last Crown. Standard edition is 50% off $13.99, almost like a $14 to $15. While it has a complete editions as well. So you can buy New Era, which also contains the Prince of Persia: The Rogue, which is also a 2D platformer game, but it's in an early access. So it's a 25% off $1,049, almost like a $12. So these are the games totally based on the stylish series action adventure platformer set in the mythological Persian world, where the boundaries of time and space are yours to manipulate. So this is a great deal, so it's worth to check it out. Moving to the next game is coming up from the Rain World. So Rain World is a 60% off $440, almost like $6, where you nomadic Salgad, both predator and prey is a broken ecosystem. Grab your spears and brave into the individual industrial wastes, hunting enough food to survive. But be wary, other bigger creatures have the same plan and Salgads look delicious. So this is 60% off $440, almost like $6, so that's a pretty good game. Moving to the next game is coming out from this Tunic, 50% off $650, almost like $8, which is an exploring puzzle Souls-like an isometric game, which is explore the land filled with the blonde lost legends, ancient powers, and ferocious monsters in the Tunic. An isometric action games about a small fox on a big adventure. So it's a 50% off $650, almost like $8, so that's a great deal. The next game is coming up from the Ori collections. So Ori collections have the 75% off $499, almost like $7. Either you can buy individually as well, which is the first one, Will of the Wisp, and the Blind Forest definitive editions. So play both award-winning games of the Ori, Blind Forest definitive editions, and Will of the Wisp collections. Embark on an adventure on the visually stunning handcrafted worlds of the Nibel and Newen with the brave little spirit on a deeply emotional journey. Free epic enemies and challenging puzzles with the larger-than-life bosses, towering enemies, and thrilling escape sequences. Dive deeper into the world through the breathtaking and beautiful orchestra-style music. So this is 75% off $499. I will say this is a great deal, and if you can buy individually as well. So it's worth to check it out. Moving to the next game is coming out from the Elder Lilies, which is 60% off $232, almost like a $3. So it's a dark fantasy 2D action RPG, unraveling mysteries of the Destroy Kingdom on the sorrowful journey. Encounter horrific enemies against whom a moment of attention could be fatal. Overcome these hardships and seek the truth with the help of fallen knights. So this is 60% off $232. That's pretty interesting stories and 35,000 positive reviews. So the next game is Terraria. So Terraria is 50% off $240, almost like a $3. So dig, fight, explore, build, nothing is impossible in this action-packed adventure game. 4 packs also available, which is open world survival sandbox survival 2D games, which is way more than I think 1 million reviews is there, overwhelmingly positive. So that's a great game for this, I think, 2D style and sandbox survival game. So that's a great deal. Moving to the next game is the Touhou Luna's Nights. So 40% off $299, almost like a $3 to $4. So it's a Metroidvania difficult side-scroller exploration games, which is heavy emphasis on the exploration and actions, developed by Team Ladybug, created by multiple fantastic action games thus far. So I think that's a pretty beautiful game with the 2D action roguelike adventure. So that's a great deal. 40% off $299, almost like a $3 to $4. So that's a great deal. Moving to the next game is coming up from the Gestalt, Steam and Cinder, 50% off $440, almost like $6. So inspired by 16 and 32-bit classic games, Gestalt is a 2D platforming exhilarating combat with the engrossing twist-laden narrative in a stunningly handcrafted steampunk world. So I can totally suggest they have created it in a 2D platforming environment. Is pretty cool. Based on the environment, there's a steampunk environment, so that's a nice looking aesthetics and the art style. So 50% off $440, that's a great deal. $6 So it's worth to check it out. Moving to the next game is the Double Dragon 4. So Double Dragon 4 is 50% off, $239, almost like a $3, while you can buy the Double Dragon bundle, which is 65% off, $556, almost like a $7, which will contain the Double Dragon 4 arcade and Super Double Dragon. We have already played with 2 players, and I love that in the which we were playing on the 64-bit games on the TV. So this is classic side-scroller action game. Newest sequels, A New Legend Begins. So it's your fighting games, beat 'em up games where you can play with the co-op as well. So 65% off, $565, almost like $7. The bundle is a great deal, or either go for the individual. Moving to the next game is coming up from the Cult of Lamb, which is 83,000 positive reviews. Or 50% off, $449, almost like a $5 to $6. So it's a start your own cult, land of all prophets, and venturing out in the diverse and mysterious region to build a loyal community of woodland followers and spread your word to become the true cult. So it's a 50% off, $449, almost like a $6. So I think that's a great game based on the positive reviews. It's a great experience for the base building and action roguelike game. Moving to the next game is coming up from the pixelated graphics section, 2D platformer with amazing, great soundtrack is the Katana Zero. 40% off, $414, almost like $6. So it's a stylish neo-noir action platformer featuring breakneck actions and instant death combat, slash, dash, and manipulate time to unravel your past in a beautifully brutal acrobatic display. So it's a 40% off, $416, almost like $6. So that's a great game. And the last game is coming up from the Midnight Fight Express, 40% off, $443. I know this is not a 2D, but I think I have missed from the every deals which I've covered, so I've added this one game in this. So this is the beat 'em up fighting game, isometric, which is former number of criminals underworld is lured back into life by mysterious drones claiming they have until sunrise to prevent the citywide criminal takeover together. So it's a pretty nice, I can say, indie game from the beat 'em up fighting games. So it's a pretty good style and art style into it, where you can take rooftop to rooftop and find the enemies. Pretty much a great fighting games, which is 40% off, $443, almost like a $6. So that's a great deal. So along with that, that's all I have to cover for the 2D platformer games and action roguelike and beat 'em up in the 2D platform, in the 2D forms. So that's it from my side. I'll meet you in the next video. So till then, keep gaming. Nopkasu out here.
Yeah, boy.